I grew up watching a lot of these old wushu movies where the story was never really that complex and it was mostly just about having this amazing action sequences that were very fantasy-like, and I really feel that Zatoichi is Japan's answer to these old movies. And here we have Zatoichi, where we have the main character Ichi, who is a blind masseuse who travels around with his cane, which conceals a sword. He's a wanderer, he meets people, he gets into trouble, and he kicks a lot of ass. All of these things are major staples in these old action movies. Zatoichi Darkness in His Alley from 1989 is easily my favorite Zatoichi movie of all time. I've only seen about 5, if not more, Zatoichi movies that I can remember. One of them being the newer one from, I think, around the early 2000s, which is kind of low on the list, so if you ever want to watch a Zatoichi movie, stick with the older ones. Some of the other ones that I've seen, the black and white ones, were pretty good, but Darkness in His Alley is by far my favorite. This has the most action that I've seen out of any of the other Zatoichi movies. Zatoichi's fighting style is very different, it's very impractical, and it's almost funny just watching him just kick everybody's ass this way. He's got this cane, and he'll pull out this concealed sword from it, and he always fights underhanded, and he will just aimlessly just swing his sword around, and it looks like he would just cut everything up around him. He would hit everybody, cut everything up around him, and obviously, if you've ever used the sword, then you know that underhanded, it just doesn't work right. If you're holding a long sword like that, you really can't get enough push to cut a lot of things with it, but he just cuts everything. This thing is like a lightsaber, and it's really fun watching him fight a lot of people, and also, the fact that he's blind really comes into play. With Darkness in His Alley, we have Zatoichi wandering around. He meets a few friends, he helps out a few other people, but mostly here, within this movie, he gets trapped between this war of two gangs, and in the end of this movie, this is what really makes this movie stand out for me, is that there is like a 7 or 8 minute long fight scene at the end here, where he just fights an entire gang by himself. He's in the middle of this town, and this entire gang is just running around looking for him. He's taking everybody on at once. There's actually a lot of these ongoing themes that you'll see within a lot of Zatoichi movies. One thing being, he will meet a friend that he has to fight against or kill, and that really brings a bit of drama to the story against, and that kind of happens in a lot of the Zatoichi movies that I've seen. With Darkness in His Alley, we see classic Zatoichi, and one thing that I really like about Zatoichi is that, aside from all the action, there are things that he will do in his spare time that are pretty interesting to watch. Like, he will go and gamble. Now, this man is blind, and you know old Japanese gambling houses where they have the cup and the two dice, and people will bet on either evens or odds, and because Zatoichi is blind, his hearing is just amazing, and he can hear the way that the dice lands, and there was a part in this movie where he was betting on the dice, and everybody else would always bet the same way as him at the table, so it was just many matches here that nobody would win because everybody would always place the same bet on Zatoichi, and he was always right, so it was just a big draw. And eventually, with this, he cleans up very well with this big sack of gold he's just walking away with, and nobody likes that. They try to fight him with this. They give him they let him go, and they give him this lantern, which is obvious. He doesn't need a lantern because he's blind, so he's walking around at night, and the lantern, it's obvious that it's not for him. It's for people who are coming to kill him to take back all that money. Here we have Zatoichi with his lantern. Everybody surrounds him, and they're just shouting at him, "You're gonna die, we're gonna kill you, give us back all the money." And he just takes the lantern, blows it out, and it's completely dark, and nobody else can see, and he just kills everybody, and they just drop dead. Zatoichi really knows how to piss off a lot of people who could get him killed potentially. There are a lot of people that love him just because he helps out a lot of people, but there are just so many times where he will have assassins sent after him. Like one time in this movie, he'll walk into this inn where he would spend the night, and there's just these monks surrounding him, and he's just like, not this again. He pulls his sword out as all of them pull their swords out, and he just cuts them all, and they just all drop dead within seconds. So anyway, Zatoichi, 1989. If you're looking for a great action movie, then I highly recommend this one. It's my favorite Zatoichi movie, and if you've seen a lot of the other Zatoichi movies and not this, you have to watch it. But if you've seen pretty much everything Zatoichi and you've seen this as well, let me know your thoughts about how this compares, and let me know what is your favorite Zatoichi movie in the comments section below. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later.